international travelers, as well as U.S. citizens returning home from abroad.
Correspondent Kevin McCormick says more vaccine doses are going out.
Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar says that means the government will no longer hold back second doses of the vaccines.
Because we now have a consistent pace of production, we can now ship all of the doses that had been held in physical reserve.
And he said states should immediately start vaccinating groups that were lower down on the priority scale, including those over 65.
We are telling states today that they should open vaccinations to all of their most vulnerable people. That is the most effective way to save lives now.
They say you got to be in it to win it.
More people are coming in and give me the, $15 worth instead of $5, or, $20 worth. Give me $50.
Kelly Turcotte selling lotto tickets in Wisconsin. The Powerball and Mega Millions jackpots have topped $1 billion. The Dow gained 60 points today. Nasdaq up 36. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
Cindy and her husband felt stuck paying annual fees on their timeshare. But what could they do?
We tried to sell it, but no results. No results at all.
Then they called Newton Group, and that's when things really started to happen.
We got a call within days. We never felt like they forgot us because we would get updates along the way.
Before long, they were free and clear.
We signed up with Newton Group in August, and it was a done deal by January.
And how's Cindy now?
We're very happy with Newton Group. It was a very, very positive experience for us, and we highly recommend them. And we are looking forward to not having to pay the $1,500 a year.
Do what Cindy did. Call Newton Group for your free consultation and free consumer's guide to timeshare exit. Call 800-500-1987. That's 800-500-1987. Newton Group has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, so call them at 800-500-1987 or visit newtonexit.com today.
The NYPD's anti-discrimination chief is retiring amid charges that he posted racist messages online.
Deputy Inspector James Coble was head of the department's Equal Employment Opportunity Division when a probe began after he was accused of posting racist messages about blacks, Jewish, and Hispanic people. Under the pseudonym Clouseau, on a message board where officers anonymously post grievances, Coble is accused of using offensive terms to describe multiple black figures, including President Obama, who was called a savage. The NYPD has suspended Coble without pay, and he has now submitted retirement papers. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
The FBI has arrested a Georgia man in Washington, it says was contemplating trying to assassinate House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. It got a tip the day after the attack. The Cleveland Grover Meredith Jr. had sent a text message saying, thinking about heading over to Pelosi's speech and putting a bullet in her noggin on live TV. The document says they found handguns and ammunition on him. Matt Piper, CBS News.
This is an advertisement.
WPTV's First Alert Weather on WPSL is brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning. Now with a look at our forecast, here's meteorologist Steve Villanueva.
Hey there, everyone. Steve Villanueva here. As we head into tomorrow, we'll start the day off with a mix of sun and clouds, but as the day wears on, we'll see more clouds roll on in, and later in the day, we're going to have some showers moving into South Florida. Daytime highs middle 70s. Thursday morning, we're starting off with some showers, but then we clear out during the afternoon. However, temperatures will be coming on down. Temperatures will be cooler on Thursday. Friday's A-OK. Then here comes a front for Saturday, and that's going to cool us off for both Saturday and Sunday. I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Steve Villanueva for WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
At Seacoast Air Conditioning, they believe in 3 basic fundamentals: answer the phone, show up on time, and fix the problem right the first time. Seacoast Air, family owned and operated since 1982, waiting to answer your call 24/7.
Comfort crisis, don't roast, call Seacoast.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
The views expressed on the following program not necessarily those of WPSL. However, I think you're going to like it. In fact, you're encouraged to like and share it on Facebook already because it's an art form. It's a study. It's a practice. It's new and innovative. It's Careology with Roxy.
Hi, everyone. It's Roxy, and welcome to Careology, where we care and support our community for a new you. This show is proudly sponsored by Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart. And my co-host this evening is none other than Bishop Alan Rivers. Hi, Bishop.
Good evening. How are you today?
I am doing well. I hope you had a good week.
Everything went well, thank God.
Well, that is good. If you're tuning in with us for the first time, welcome. We're happy to have you. Careology is a subsidiary of CareBag Incorporated, a nonprofit supporting those in need in our community with proper hygiene. Just remember, proper hygiene is a right, not a privilege. And I had a very good week, and I hope all of you had a good week also. We had a lot going on, and I'm sure that all of us are tired of hearing about it. So just remember, this show, Careology, does not do politics. Thank you, Cliff. So we're going to talk about what is important to us, and I had a lot of feedback from our first show about loneliness. And I hope that everyone remembers you can find New Horizons on 211, and you can just remember you do not have to be alone. Loneliness, we weren't meant to be lonely. And I just thought it was a really good show.
I do too as well.
Yeah, I think I got a lot from it, and a lot of people told me they got a lot from it. So we're really, really happy about that. But tonight we're going to be talking about children during this pandemic with out of school. They can't go to birthday parties. They're not really going to the park. And, how are children being affected by this? I see some kids, and they're just doing great. Everything is fine with them. They look like they're doing better than myself. And then I see other children that are really, really struggling. So we're going to have the experts because, again, I am not an expert. We're going to have some experts here later on to let us know how children are dealing with stress, how parents could help them, and we hope that this helps you. And last week we talked about finding a word, and I had a good friend of mine, Janice, told me that her word is forgive. And I was like, wow, that's a deep one. I need to take that word. My word is intentional. Now I have forgive, and I think I added focus on. So did you have a word, Bishop?
Newness.
Oh, I like that. We all need a word. Sometimes I think for me it's better than resolutions because I seem to break them by week 2 or week 3. So I got a lot of feedback. And if anyone wants to tell us their words right now, I want to say thank you, to Cliff. He just makes us sound good and look good. So thank you so much, Cliff and Carol and Greg here in the studio at WPSL. We really appreciate them. They took us in and they've been treating us like family. So I feel like I've been here for weeks already, even though this is our second show. But if you have a comment you want to make to us, you can text Care Radio, CARERADIO, text Care Radio to 77222. And it's automatic. If you're on Facebook, our message is on. You can send us a message. You can ask us questions. We want this to be about the community. Or you can go ahead and call in. Now, if you call in, our CareBag Tribe on our Facebook page is not able to hear what is going on, but we will repeat it. We're going to ask you to keep it short and sweet to the point. So, it's just a wonderful thing when we can help people and others can call us and let us know, what, Roxy, Bishop, this really helped us. I loved what the show was about, and I didn't know that, and now I know. And we want our listeners, we want you out there listening to us to know that there is always a resolution to anything that we bring you. And I think that's important, Bishop.
No, I think so as well. I've been meditating on some of the things we went over on last week, and I see how they can be connected, with loneliness and people that are just separated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the biggest issues that we've had for the last few months is a issue of separation. And also the fact that you can be in a room full of people
and still be lonely.
And still be lonely.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of people are. I've heard that a lot of people said, I'm home or I'm in the house with people or I go to work or I'm on a virtual call and I'm still lonely because that just needing that touch. We weren't meant to be alone. We're always needing that touch and needing a hug from someone. My mom lives far away, so I haven't been able to see her. And the last time I saw her was in October. And my brother and my nieces and nephew, we all were making sure we were okay. Every day we're calling and texting, you got a temperature, got a cold, are you sneezing and coughing, you can't come, because we wanted to protect her. And just being there to see her and hug everyone, it just felt so good. And right now things doesn't look like it's getting any better at the moment, so when will I see her again? And so many other people are going through that. And there are ways that we can combat that, just to know that there is someone you can talk to, because we don't want you to be alone. We don't want you to feel like this is the end. There's nothing out there for you. There is always a way out, always. And we want each of you to know that if you're sitting at home, if you're driving, there's no need to be lonely. There's always someone to talk to and always someone that has a listening ear. And that's important. And since we covered that, I thought about our children. Our children, how are they coping being away from the birthday parties, being away from the playground, just all these things that they do. And that's important. And we want to help them as much as possible, and helping them is helping the parents. So I am so happy that we're going to have our special guest coming in. When she comes, she'll introduce herself, and she deals with children and she deals with families, and that's what we want. We want expert advice to give you that you can cope with whatever situation if you are going through a situation. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I want to thank, again, Treasure Coast Toyota, and they are our proud sponsor for this show. And if you are needing a car, I have just driven in the RAV4, and I got to tell you guys, I love it. It's roomy, it's just gorgeous. It drives good. It feels good. Go down there, walk through the door, look for a car, even if you're not looking for a car, go and test drive it. You just don't know what's going to happen. And it's professional service, and it's just good quality service all around. And talking about good service, I went to Quality Liquidators, and our Careology Spotlight Corner is through Groza. If you are looking for Groza, a home to go ahead and build, you need to check out Groza. Go to grozabuilders.com. They are professional and they do it right. And this corner, we're going to talk about all Quality Liquidators. They are open Saturday and Sunday only. Saturday, they're open from 8 to 5, and Sunday, they're open from 9 to 3. No matter what you're looking for, it's at rock bottom prices. And the service, the quality when I went in there was absolutely good. I won't tell you what I bought because it'll get me in trouble. But Bishop, they had quality stuff. Some things might have a little dent or the box might be open. But they'll open the box for you, they'll let you see what's in there. And I really love the service. A local business in our community. And they're just look them up online on Facebook, or just go ahead and Google them. They're right near Midway Road off US 1. All Quality Liquidators. My hat's off to them. Excellent service when I went in there. So we thank you. There's April always working at the counter, so you need to check them out, Bishop.
Yeah, I think I might just do that. There's nothing like being able to get quality stuff
for
a good price.
Yeah, I'm a bargainer. That New York in me just comes out. I just got to get a good bargain. I got to get it. So what do you think about setting boundaries for children?
I think that's necessary. I just think that you can't just have them free to just do anything without any limitations. I think that we all need boundaries in a sense, because boundaries causes us to be able to grow, not just wild, but grow in a positive direction that is measurable.
Yes.
So you want to be able to grow, know that you're not going in a negative way, that you're growing a positive way, and that things are growing for you as you go on in life.
I was talking to someone yesterday, and we were just talking about children, and I'm like, things have changed. I don't know about you, Cliff, but things have changed from when I grew up, because My dad, when he was alive and I was younger, he just had to look at me. Children were supposed to be seen and not heard. And if you had a conversation, conversations were supposed to be around with adults and not with adults and with children. And I think that's where it's missing. I think sometimes we give our children too much information.
You know, it's a different society now in terms of what they're exposed to. Some kids have so much information, whether you give it to them or not, they have access to it. And like, especially with what's going on now, some kids don't have anything but social media that they can communicate with and through. And by doing that, they get a lot of information, and sometimes that information is not even restricted.
That's true. You know, but how do you grab control of that? Because I have some families that they have good control over, you know, what their children watch. I'll tell you what one father does with his phone, and I think it's hilarious. And we will tell you that as soon as we come back. Stay tuned.
Going to take care of the sponsors of this great show, Careology. A feature every Tuesday night in the 6 p.m. hour on WPSL. We'll be right back.
If you could reimagine the way you buy a car, what would you do? Make it simple, make negotiations disappear, demand transparency, then experience amazing at your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Car Buying Simplified. Treasure Coast Lexus is a proud sponsor of Careology. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m., caring and supporting for our community. Car Buying Simplified. Check out your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer.
This is an important message about COVID-19 from the Florida Department of Health in Martin County. Older adults and those with chronic health conditions are more likely to experience severe complications from the COVID-19 virus. Protect yourself and others by washing your hands often, social distancing, and wearing a mask. Avoid large crowds and stay home when you're sick. Stay safe from the coronavirus.
Make new rules for the road. Ready, set, go. The best-selling SUV in America, the RAV4. More performance, more refined, more sport, more utility. Find your Toyota. Let's go places. Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart. Today, tomorrow, Toyota. A proud sponsor of Careology. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m. Caring and supporting our community. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
The first time I stepped into St. Lucie Jewelry and Coins, I figured it would just be one of my many stops on my road to the perfect engagement ring. My fiancée means the world to me, so I wanted something extra special. I found a huge selection of engagement rings at great prices, and my worry about finding the perfect engagement ring was quickly replaced with exceptional customer service. St. Lucie Jewelry's over 400 five-star reviews really told the story. I finally picked a ring, and it was perfect. She was floored, and then the tears came.
Hi, this is Hawk Levy, owner of St. Lucie Jewelry and Coins. We're now celebrating 26 years, voted best diamond dealers, best jewelry buyers, and best jeweler year after year. Come celebrate with us in opening our third location at 1335 St. Lucie West Boulevard next to Publix. We invite you to take a tour of our competition, but then come see us last.
Welcome back. You're listening to Careology on WPSL. And once again, here's your host, Roxy.
Hi, guys. Like I was telling you before, back to what we were saying, I have a friend and he has 3 kids at home, and he controls his TV, his computer, the internet, everything from his phone. And if the kids are old enough, they're in their teens, but if any one of them call him, he just cuts everything off. So there's no arguing, there's no fighting, there's nothing. And that's how he controls his social network at home and get things done. So, you know, there's always a way to get things done with children at home with the internet, like Bishop was saying. But our guest is here, and I am really, really excited. So our guest is here, and this is our expert, and I am going to have her introduce herself. Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing good. So I'm glad to have you here. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Christina Browner. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I am the clinical director with Sequel Care of Florida at the Port St. Lucie location.
That is it. You can put on your headset. Oh, yes. So thank you so much. So we have someone that is dealing with children. And Christine, we are so happy to have you here. And me and you have talked on the phone, and you know what our subject is, children dealing with this COVID, dealing with the pandemic, dealing from just being at home, not in school, not going to birthday parties, having your parents home looking at them all day, or the parents looking at their children all day. Vice versa, you can pick which ones you want.
Yeah.
But I hear a lot of stories. I see moms, we have moms coming into our care bag location every Tuesday and Thursday. And just them being able to come and leave the kids somewhere to pick up diapers or whatever they need, it's just like a deep breath.
Yeah.
A little break. And some of them are putting them back in school even though they don't want to because they can't handle it.
Right.
And some are keeping them home because they don't want to go through it.
Yeah.
So, what do you do?
Yeah. So it's a fine line, right?
Yeah.
Which way do you go and which decision is the right decision? And basically the message is you have to make the right decision for you.
Yes.
It's an individual decision. It can't be what the bandwagon is doing. It can't be what the news is saying. It can't be what the county is saying, your friend, your family, your neighbor. But it has to be what the right decision for you.
So I see a lot of children every week that come into our diaper pantry with their moms, and some are doing, actually, it looks like a lot of the kids are doing much better than the parents. Some of them. But then we have some of the children, which is my main concern. I have some children that are ages 9, 10, 11, and we're giving their parents, adult small diapers because they reverted back to wetting the bed.
Yeah.
So a lot of them can't handle this. It's a trauma situation.
Right.
Being away from your friends,
Right.
It's a financial situation. You can't pay your kids' phone bill, so now they lost their phone.
Right.
So there are no birthday parties, no going to the park.
Right.
What can we tell parents to help them through this?
Yeah. So what you're really describing is anxiety, right? And you're describing trauma, like you said, vicarious trauma, and you're talking about social isolation, So our kids are missing that social piece that they're used to. And so you're going to see it come out in various behaviors, anger, frustration. We've seen it come out in some eating disorders with some kids, So the message is, how do you get that piece back that's missing? So that social piece, which is missing, because we have to wear the mask.
Right.
We got to be 6 feet apart. We have restrictions out in public. Some places you can't even go.
Right.
So it's finding that balance. What is that balance? What is that thing that we can do? And that's where you seek out professional help,
right,
or you get creative. And if you can't come up with that creativity, then you got to find that support, because it's all about support. So some of the things that we're helping kids to do is, okay, what is the one thing that you haven't been able to do because you're always like out, right?
Never home.
You're never home, or you're on the phone with a friend, or you're hanging out with a friend, or you're at the friend's house, or this social gathering, whatever. And what have you not been able to do that now you got some free time to do?
Right.
So is it learning a new language, right? So there's all these free apps where you can learn different languages. Is it picking up an instrument? Is it, we want you to use your hands, because when you use your hands, you begin to feel better. So, some kids are picking up cross-stitching,
Wow.
like, okay, you're cross-stitching, all right. But it's what they,
what they can do.
It's what they can do. It's drawing, painting. So finding some type of activity that they can be independent with, but also sharing it with mom, sharing it with dad, sharing it with the sibling, getting on a Zoom call and showing off this new side of them, right? So that's one thing that has been evidence to show this is working.
This is working for them.
Yeah.
Well, I took up planting.
I
killed cactuses. I've listened to my mom talk about her garden and, doing this, doing that, and I can barely keep grass alive.
Yeah.
And now I have plants.
Yeah.
I have beautiful plants galore. So I found out for me that helped.
Right.
But me and you talked during the week, and you said something that really got my attention. A lot of anxiety that kids are going through is what they hear their parents talking about.
Oh, yeah.
If you hear your parents talking about, I can't get food, I'm stressed out, we can't pay the bills as a child.
Yeah.
You know, what impact does that put on a child?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot, you know, and that's where that vicarious trauma comes from. So it's not necessarily your own trauma, but it's something that is being put onto your shoulders. So those extra outside stressors, right? Those exterior stressors. So that's a real thing, you know. Christmas just passed, Thanksgiving just passed, you know, you want to be able to buy your kids this and that, but you can't, and you're trying to find a way to explain to them. And then I heard you just a little bit earlier when you were saying, you know, the upbringing is different. Kids like get in our conversations, right? And they shouldn't be.
Okay, so I come from a Caribbean background, so I don't know what you guys did, but it was a hand coming across. I know my mom's listening. I know she's like, oh no, don't say that.
Right.
But you don't let your lips move.
Right.
You know, you can.
Adults are talking.
Yeah, adults are talking. You should be seen and not heard.
Right.
And
Leave the room.
Leave the room. You see adults talking, leave the room. Raise your hand. And things have changed, and because things have changed and cultures have changed, what children hear now is totally different.
Right. We have to have boundaries.
We have to have. I agree with that. It doesn't matter what year we're in. I think we need to have boundaries with children because a child is still a child.
Right.
They grow up faster. They can do things much quicker, but they're still a child.
Right.
You know, you have to grow them up. Their mind is not going to be developed as an adult.
Right.
Even though I found some children actually sound smarter than some adults that I've been talking to. You know, not in this room here, but, you know, I've seen it. So, you know, we have to have boundaries. And it doesn't matter. To me, you let me know. You're the expert. I just think you need to have boundaries.
Right.
My nieces, my nephew, my godchildren, they have boundaries. When they see you talking, you raise your hand. If they see you talking, we give them a look.
Right.
And they just vacate, you know, out because children shouldn't be hearing everything because that's how they start talking.
Well, that's where you get into this dysfunctional family.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's where you get that's you're going into that terminology then because there's no boundaries. The structure is off. We have role reversals. We don't know who's the parent,
the mother,
who's the child,
yes.
who's, you know, and then we have all these kids even now, you know, that they're having these parentified roles, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So even that is the extra stressor too.
Yeah.
So we have to find the balance. We have to have boundaries. Parents have to, you know, understand that it's okay to reach out for help.
Yes.
You know, because if you can figure out how to create this structure, this new normal, as we're saying, then great. But if you can't, then reach out for some ideas because we have to kind of rein it back in, you know, and try to help our kids. But like we were talking earlier this week, it's the kids and the adults that are now beginning to struggle. Yes. So we've always been an agency that saw, you know, mainly kids, 90% kids, but that is now beginning to change. We're seeing a lot more adults coming in, you know, so.
Which is good because therapy has always been a taboo. You know, you don't talk to anyone, you know, different cultures do different things, but you don't seek help. You don't tell anyone outside your problem. But what individuals don't understand, it is good to talk to someone outside. By law, you cannot repeat it.
Right.
So
there's privacy.
There's privacy laws. There's HIPAA laws.
There's
so
HIPAA laws.
You
there's
can
privacy
you
practice,
can tell
confidentiality.
So you can tell someone within reason, everyone.
Right.
Within reason.
Right.
And what you say, it's confidential.
Right.
So you can get it off your chest. To go through what we're going through for a whole year and coming into this year again. Yeah. It's a lot.
What I like to tell my adults, and the message that I really like for people to lean in on, you go see your primary care physician at least annually for a physical, right? To get a checkup. You go to the dentist every 6 months to get a cleaning, right? You know, us women go to our female diaper. You know, we have to do that. But why is no one going to a therapist to get your mental checkup? It doesn't mean you have a diagnosis. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you.
You're just clearing it out.
I'm going to the professional just like I go to the doctor, just like I go to the dentist, just like I go get my eyes checked. It's just a mental wellness, you know, maintenance. You know, let me just let it all out. And it's a no judgment zone.
Yeah. You're looking good on the outside, but you are
Yeah.
just crumbling on the inside.
Yeah.
And then what happened is when you're crumbling on the inside, you're bringing it home.
Right. And you'll explode. It'll
Yeah.
come out in different behaviors.
And to
you
your
know.
children.
Yeah. To your
The
children,
children.
to your spouse, to your mother, to the pet. You
Oh,
you
yeah.
come home and you're like, why are all these dishes in the sink? You should have washed these dishes. Da-da-da-da. You're really not mad at the dishes.
It's overflowing.
It's overflowing. Right. So it's that explosion that takes place because as you put more and more and more in and you don't have a healthy, safe release to get it out, it's going to come out one way or another.
That's why
one way or another.
That's why you need someone to talk to.
You
and
have
it's,
to. Yeah.
You know, children are dealing with so much, and you know, I was looking into what can kids do, and you said something. Change your routine.
Yeah.
And set boundaries. I was looking at something, and it was like set a timer.
Yeah.
It had if you want your child to do so, set a timer for them to do something every 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, a
Just
routine, structure.
To just change it and to change their structure because they're in school, they'll be in school 30-minute class, 40-minute class, the bell rings, and they go to do something else. So, you know, find something new for them to do. And it's just, and self-care for, like you said, what I have down is just what you said, self-care for parents.
Yeah.
If parents aren't taking care of themselves, go for a walk.
Right.
Get out the house. Actually, move away from your children.
Out of the four walls.
Yeah.
So we can't be, you know, a lot of parents are working from home, including myself. I'm working from home, sometimes in the office. My child is at school doing the virtual school. So you got to get out of the four walls. You can't, if it's go for a walk, if it's sitting outside, breathing in fresh air.
Or lock yourself somewhere where you're by yourself.
Yeah. You know, and so, and I have that too. I don't just talk about what you should do, but I follow those same things. So even with my 7-year-old who's doing virtual school, we're following that school schedule. Yeah. You know, it's lunchtime. She knows 11:30 is lunchtime. To me, it's like, that's still morning, but it's the schedule she had at school, and we follow that same schedule. So it's lunchtime. And then there's this timeout time where you don't need to be interacting with me.
Yeah,
because
you're in school.
Yeah, you're in
wouldn't
school.
be there.
But I also need I need my peace. I need my break. So I'm going to go sit outside. Don't come outside. Don't call my name. Don't knock on the door. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. But we have to do that. We have to find activities outside, you know, in the fresh air and the natural sunlight, because all nature in itself helps with depression. Nature in itself helps with anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to do that. You have to have a support system. You have to have a support system, whoever that may be, but that's very, very important. Kids need to find playing games with other kids, having family time, eating dinner together at the table, just breaking it up and having something to look forward to, and not I'm bored, I'm isolated. Because that I oversee about 30 therapists and 20 case managers, but when I was talking to the therapist, you know, what's the theme? You know, anger, you know, loneliness, you know,
even though you're in a house, that's what we talked about last week, even though you're a house full of people, because your husband's now working from home, your kids are now at home, everybody got something going on, but now the little time you had for yourself when everybody's gone, it's now gone.
Yeah.
So when do you have that time for you? So that brings loneliness.
Yeah.
Because you can't be for yourself anymore.
Right.
So I see it. You know, I see when these mothers come in, some of them are just in tears. I said, why I don't want to send them back to school. Why? I just couldn't take it. You know, and I know there has to be another way. And it's just talking to someone and letting them know that they're counselors, their agencies out there. Because CareBag, we deal with Sequel. A lot of their clientele we deal with. Some clienteles are in need, and we do go ahead and we service them with their proper hygiene items that they may need.
Yeah.
And that is how we met. And I love what they do with the youth and now with the adults. And again, this is another agency. They're for profit, but they are out there and they are there to help.
Yeah.
And that's what's important, to know that our children have somewhere to go.
Right.
So there's some people that might have a taboo about calling this or calling that, but there are other agencies that can help you. Our mental just our mental state is so important right now. It is so important, and without that, so much destruction comes along. And we just want people to know here at Careology that there is always a way to get some help, and that is very, very important. So what are the things that you would recommend for parents to do?
You know, one of the things, if you really wanted to keep your child at home and you are not able to because it's a little taxing on yourself and you can't help, group up.
Yeah.
So I've heard, and that's something that someone else brought to me, like,
be
creative.
Group up?
Group
Hold
up.
that thought one second, because I see Cliff giving me the eye right there. I like when a man gives me the eye, so. So we will be right back. We will be right back after this message, but I like the word group up. Right now I'm just thinking of a whole lot going on, and I'm like, group up. What is group up? You guys think about it. We're going to hear what is group up in a minute. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
We're going to group up, and then we're going to group right back.
All right. Make new rules for the road. Ready, set, go. The best-selling SUV in America, the RAV4. More performance, more refined, more sport, more utility. Find your Toyota. Let's go places. Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart. Today, tomorrow, Toyota. A proud sponsor of Careology. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m. Caring and supporting our community. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
This is an important message about COVID-19 from the Florida Department of Health in Martin County. Older adults and those with chronic health conditions are more likely to experience severe complications from the COVID-19 virus. Protect yourself and others by washing your hands often, social distancing, and wearing a mask. Avoid large crowds and stay home when you're sick. Stay safe from the coronavirus.
If you could reimagine the way you buy a car, what would you do? Make it simple, make negotiations disappear, demand transparency, then experience amazing at your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Car buying simplified. Treasure Coast Lexus is a proud sponsor of Careology. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m., caring and supporting for our community. Car buying simplified. Check out your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer.
Is your business open? Let your customers know on WPSL and WSTU. Fuel your reopening digitally on TuneIn Worldwide and Alexa in your office, car, or home.
It's a concept. It's a way of life. It's a wonderful theme. It's Careology, and it's on the air. Here's your host, Roxy, once again.
Thank you, Cliff. So, we're going to find out what that term is. It sounded really, it can be a lot. Tell us about it.
So, when I say group up, if you didn't really want to, okay, if you really didn't want to send your child back to school, but you felt like you had to because you couldn't do it on your own,
right?
Why not group up with 2 to 3 other families and rotate?
Okay.
Let's do some distance, 6 feet apart, or, you one area of the couch, you another area at the kitchen table, where your kids are distanced out.
Right.
But then there's one adult there that's kind of the facilitator, the overseer. And you rotate with 3 or 4 of your friends.
Okay.
Your off day, you're watching the kids. My off day, I'm watching the kids. And we're just kind of like having homeschool virtually. Yeah. Or if you do have your kid at school and your kid is still, coming home and wanting that social interaction and you're leery about it because of COVID and stuff like that, still group up. 3 to 4 families that you trust, you support, and still take your kids out somewhere where they're sitting in a circle. Right. And they're having some type of interaction, a distance picnic. We're still distanced. We're still socially distanced. We're not going outside of CDC guidelines, but we're doing small groups that we can distance and spread out and still
In
have fun.
in a safe environment.
In a safe environment, in a safe way.
Yes.
So, and that's something that a mother brought to me, like, because even she was doing it with the girls.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go and we're going to park our trucks. We're going to sit in our, these SUV soccer moms, right?
Yeah.
We're going to sit and we're going to lift up that lift and we're going to sit there and we're going to talk. We're going to have some girl time. So different things, being creative.
I've done that with a friend. We're always going out to lunch or, for coffee or to get something to eat or for a drink. And we've been missing that. And we drove and we met in a parking lot, and we both have SUVs, and we popped the trunk.
Yeah.
And she sat there cross-legged. I sat there, and we just talked. Is just to have that face-to-face conversation.
And what was that feeling?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
It just to look at somebody and being able to talk. Because right now I am tired. I'm always on the phone,
right?
And I'm really tired of the phone. It's always ringing,
right?
And just to be able to have a face-to-face conversation, even though, I know we're supposed to have our mask on. I'm very, I'm pro, we have to have it all. We need to be safe. Sometimes I forget. We all do it. You get out your car, you're walking to the door to Publix, crap. You got to turn around. We all forget. So being able to sit in my car, no mask on, and she's in her, we're a good 8 feet away. We're yelling at each other, talking.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and we laugh about it. And those are things you can do.
And your kids can do the same thing. So imagine your kids, they're on virtual, they're at the screen all day.
Yeah.
So maybe, some kids still want to do the online games and have Zoom meetings or Zoom parties, whatever. I was at a Zoom DJ party, and I was like, okay, this is different, but it was fun. Yeah. But some of us are tired of the computer screen. So just think of the feeling that you had in giving that same feeling to the kids.
Yeah.
Because it's doable.
Yes.
It's doable.
It's crazy. It's a new time. We have to conform to new things. And as we can learn how to do it, kids need to learn how to do it. Our children, your grandchildren. As adults, we have to learn how to do it. Yeah. And, you have to get dressed and, good shirt, pajama bottoms, but everything from the waist up looking good. Don't stand up, don't make a move. But, this is going to be our way of life for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how long.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that there are ways that we can do it.
Right.
So one of the things what advice would you give to a mom, to a dad that, they want, like you said, they want to go to the park. How do you find these groups? Other than, you said, basically people that you trust.
Yeah, yeah.
But the question is, someone would ask, well, how do you know they're just home?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you know? There just so many crazy things we hear.
Right,
So
right.
you find someone you trust, but then the group gets larger and larger.
Right.
So what do you do?
You got to set that boundary.
You got to set the boundary.
It can't get larger. It can't get larger. And if it's someone that you trust, then you trust them. But if it's someone that you're, I'm not sure.
A little wary about.
Yeah, you're still keeping your distance. You're still doing the social distance thing. So you're still not having that, close proximity. So you're still going to follow the guidelines, And that's really what I would say. Or there's Facebook groups. You can find people, but these aren't people that you know. These aren't people that you know. Or you can reach out to the school. Like, hey, are there any, groups with the kids? Are there any extracurricular activities that are kind of safe, that are small group? Reach out to the teachers, the guidance counselors at the school, the social workers at the school. So we have to tap into our resources.
Right.
And a lot of times people don't understand there's resources.
Yes, that's where Careology came from, because they're resources. So for those of you who are not on Facebook that can't see you, I take this seriously. I have the mic coverings, the disposable. I have a plastic screen shield. That's what we do so our guests can be comfortable. We practice, and WPSL practices safe guidelines here. We wipe, we do everything because we want to keep people safe. And the same way we keep ourselves safe, the same way you get in a car, you buckle your seatbelt, and you look at the red light, you stop, at the green light, you go. That's how you have to do this, because it is your life.
Yeah.
And it's your children's life too. So we need to find little things for our young ones to do, but then also do things for yourself. When you as a parent are taking care of yourself, it is much better to take care of your children. I believe that. And if anxiety sets in, find someone to talk to. It is important. Find a hobby. Find something. If you feel therapy is not for you, then find something that is for you, you know, but you have to think of your children's well-being, because we know on the sad end of it now, which I know no one ever likes to talk about, but on the sad end of it, children are suffering and children are taking their lives.
Yeah.
And it's sad, it's serious, but that is something that we need to talk about, and no one ever wants to talk about it. It is not fair to sit in the front. I always say it's not fair to sit in the front pew of a church and bury your child. That is not a good feeling, ladies and gentlemen. That is definitely not a good feeling. So we really, really need to look after our children. And if you're looking after yourself, you're looking after them. And that's what's important. And we want to really, I see it every day. Like I said, Care Bag is open twice a week, and I see the mothers come in. I had a mother today that got evicted, and she has to send one of her children to a relative up north.
Wow.
And she came to get basics, toilet paper.
Yeah.
So just to send with that child. And one of our volunteers, Janice, was there because I knew she was coming and I couldn't be there because I see her every month and I know me. If I start crying, everybody's going to start crying in that little building. So I purposely was not there because my heart breaks. She's a good mom. She loves her children, but the stress of what's going on just overtook her right now.
Yeah.
And that's a decision. That's a hard decision to make.
Yeah.
A hard decision to send your child away because you can't take care of him because you got two younger ones.
Yeah.
So we, at Care Bag, we did what we did. We gave her what she asked for was what she needed to send that child off.
Yeah.
And we gave her what she needed for the other children. That's what we do. And, you know, with all the agencies that we work with, that's why Careology is here to let you know that there is a need out there. There's a need, and there's a need mentally, there's a need physically, and all of us as agencies, for our clients, we're here for them. And it breaks your heart when they come in. You know, a dad came in early in the morning and he needed just for his kids, and we were letting him know where he can go and get some food.
Yeah.
Because it's still there. Some of us may feel it, and some of us don't.
Yeah.
But I see the ones that it impacts, and it's a heart wrenching to see that, and we're so glad that we're able to do something for them, and to offer this and to be able to give them a mechanism where they can go ahead and get the help that they need is so vitally important. And I thank you for coming out and sharing with us what they can do.
Absolutely.
And that's our job. That is my mission right now, is to, if someone calls, I have people calling and texting me and just like, Roxy, you know, can you talk about this? Or Roxy, I'm a mom at home and my husband's at home, the kids are at home, I'm going crazy. You know, what can I do? Can you talk about that? Do you know of anyone else? And this is what I tell anyone. If you're suffering through that, you're not alone.
You're not
Because I
alone.
guarantee you 70 to 80% of other people are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
They're just afraid to talk about it.
Yeah.
They're afraid to talk about it. They're afraid to say something about it. And that's what we're going to break. We're going to break from that. We're going to
cycle.
We're going to open up that discussion. Like you said, break that cycle, because there's nothing that we can't talk about except politics.
Yeah.
We won't talk politics. But I think we hear enough of that we're not going to bring that here. But last week, before I let you go, last week we decided different people make resolutions, and some people pick a word. And I picked a word. So if you had to pick a word that would get you through this 2021, my word is intention. And one of my good friends, Janice, picked the word forgive. And I was like, woo, I need that word. So I kidnapped that word also, and focus. What word do you think would take you through 2021? Balance. Woo, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I love it.
Intentional is one of my words.
that's-
I use it all the time in therapy.
Yeah.
But you took that one.
Yeah.
So, but
You
balance is another.
can use
Balance
that.
is another. Balance is another.
I started doing balance around November. I
Mhm.
started learning how to balance off, you know, that I got a husband, I got a family, and Care Bag is my family, but I have my family.
Yeah.
So I need to learn how to balance that. When my mom calls, I pick up the phone
Yeah.
because that's my mom.
Right.
You know, I don't let it go to voicemail. male. You got to have that balance. You can't just work, or you can't be absorbed with something.
Right.
I might steal that one
Well,
too.
you have to have balance, as we were talking about taking care of your whole body, the doctor, the dentist, the eye doctor, your mental health therapist, because the myth that about mental health is that the taboo the myth is you're crazy. There's something wrong with you. But no, there's something right with me. There's something, because I'm taking care of mind, body and spirit or soul. We interchange, but there's something right with me. So we got to get away from the myth that I'm crazy if I go see a therapist. No, I'm getting the balance.
The balance that
I'm
you
getting
need.
the balance. I'm getting the release. I'm getting the fulfillment. I'm learning how to become a better me.
That's it. Well, I got one more word I added on, which is balance. So that's good.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I like that, balance. But I want to say thank you.
You're so
I
welcome.
so appreciate it, and I
Thank
hope
you for having me.
I hope that if anyone, like I said, you can reach out to CareBag, and if you need information, we can always give information to anyone. You can find us at carebagfl.org. Very simple, carebagfl as in Florida.org, and we'll be happy to share any information about any guests that we have here on the show at WPSL on Careology. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming out. It was a pleasure to have you and to hear. And I hope that my friends out there listening, that anyone that needed, got any information, if we could impact one, that's the greatest thing. So I'm loving that.
Yeah.
So.
And I thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be
Thank
here.
you. I'm glad you came.
I want to reach that one, just
that
like
one.
you.
That's what I said.
That
one.
And if anybody does have a myth about therapy, just know therapists see therapists too.
Oh yeah.
Because we doing something right.
Yes.
So
definitely.
See someone. Talk to someone. Talk to someone. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say love you. Thanks that you came out. I love that. And before we're going to go to a break, but I just want to say thank you to Two Men in a Truck of the Treasure Coast. If you need movers to move you, check them out. Two Men of the Treasure Coast. We will be right back.
And nothing will ruin a good day more than unbalanced energy.
Oh, yes.
So balance. And we'll be right back with more Careology. I think you're starting to get it now.
Make new rules for the road. Ready, set, go. The best-selling SUV in America, the RAV4. More performance, more refined, more sport, more utility. Find your Toyota. Let's go places. Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart. Today, tomorrow, Toyota. A proud sponsor of Careology, every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m. Caring and supporting our community. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
This is an important message about COVID-19 from the Florida Department of Health in Martin County. Older adults and those with chronic health conditions are more likely to experience severe complications from the COVID-19 virus. Protect yourself and others by washing your hands often, social distancing, and wearing a mask. Avoid large crowds and stay home when you're sick. Stay safe from the coronavirus.
If you could reimagine the way you buy a car, what would you do? Make it simple, make negotiations disappear, demand transparency, then experience amazing at your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Car Buying Simplified. Treasure Coast Lexus is a proud sponsor of Careology. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m., caring and supporting for our community. Car Buying Simplified. Check out your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer.
Is your business open? Let your customers know on WPSL and WSTU. Fuel your reopening digitally on TuneIn Worldwide and Alexa in your office, car, or home.
Great, a little balance tonight. Careology, we're back, and so is Roxy.
Hi guys, I thank you Christina with Sequel Care. They are an awesome group. I love what they do, the work they do with children, and now they're doing it with us. So now I have Intentional, Bishop. I have Forgive. I have, my husband's going to love to hear the word forgive. I have focus, and now I have balance. Imagine if I can just put all of that in one. I will just be the perfect Roxy. But before I even go any further, CareBag Incorporated is doing some really good work, and we have some volunteers at our office that come faithfully every Tuesday and every Thursday, and I just want to give a shout out to Kelsey, Janice, and Sandra. These are the ladies that keep us going. And Bishop, me and you come out and we do what we do, but these ladies come and they hand out the diapers, hand out the wipes, give the hygiene, give a talk. We can't hug, but we show love in different ways, and I want to thank them. They just make CareBag look even better than we were before. And we have sponsors out there. We have so many individuals that help us out. Two Men in the Truck of the Treasure Coast have been pushing and, just being behind CareBag's mission. And if you're getting ready to move and you need movers, please consider them, because you're going to get quality and you're going to get professionalism, and you're going to get people that are going to treat your furniture or treat whatever you're moving like it's their own. So, we want to give a shout out to them and say thank you very much. But Bishop, this was a lot of information. Wow.
It's a lot of information, and it shows you that, just from one thing, from one area can affect another area, and it affects a whole gamut of young people, and it allows us to give them ideas in order for them to get out of whatever depression they may be in, or maybe boredom that they may be in, that we act as a beacon of light for them, because if we can't help them, and we're not professionals, at least you can bring somebody in that's a professional in that area that might give them a direction. And Rome wasn't built in a day. Some things take time, and with enough time and enough effort, it will be better than it was.
That's
yesterday.
true. Definitely. Well, we want to thank Christina and Bishop. Thank you for coming along. I've really, really enjoyed this show, and I hope you guys did also. I want to remind you, Careology is about strengthening our community. Next week, we're going to go off a little bit different. Stay tuned, because it's going to be a big surprise. And I want you to join us at 6:10 on WPSL 1590. You can stream us at WPSL.com. Find us on Alexa. Find us at TuneIn. Right now, we're trying out Facebook Live on CareBag Inc.'s page. If you'd like to join us on the show, please text Care Radio to 77222. And I want to tell you guys, have a good night. Remember, Careology is for you, like Bishop said, for a new you. And we're going to see you next Tuesday. Bishop, you have anything to say before we go?
Again, Happy New Year. Happy New You.
Yes, it was a privilege being with you guys, and love you. And we will see you next week, Tuesday, on Careology. Take care and be safe.
Have a good night.
And I hope everybody took notes and got that one on balance.
There you go, balance.
Keep those handy, and check this out. Every Tuesday night, 6:05 till 7 p.m. every Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is.
It's Tuesday.
But I'm telling you what, this is one great new show. What a concept. Careology.
Thank you.
Hosted by Roxy. This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.